What is going on, guys? Today we are playing some Blitz Poker and we are going to be seeing how we can do. So we started off with $8 here and hopefully we can turn it into some good money. Now, I don't know if it's gonna happen or not. I have been working on a little bit of a strategy, so we'll see how things go. Now, I did learn that positioning on the table is important. So playing the blinds, the button really, and the cutoff. Those are the two best. So we open here with a small call. He immediately calls up and we have the flush. Take a small bet there, 14 cents. And we're just gonna see how it goes. He's gonna go ahead and make a call here. I'm not sure what he has yet. I am trying to download a poker tracker, which should give you HUD stats. So he checked to us. I'll check there. And we get a 5. So we're running pretty much dead here. But yeah, so we'll probably run this for like 15-20 minutes. We're down 51 cents. You can see that there, which is fine. You know, you're gonna lose sometimes. Any sort of bet there, we're gonna get out of the way. For king, we could play a potential flush there. We're gonna re-raise him, steal that pot. Now, I learned that my bets are probably not quite as good as they should be. So jacks here, we can definitely play this. I need to try and like put people in brown that I've tried my strategy for, and maybe we'll get into that at another point. So we call there, fold, checks up there. So he calls there, bet 12. He should call. He doesn't. King 9 under the gun. Now this is a spot where I learned previously we would fold, so we'll raise 30 cents here, showing that we have a pretty strong hand. Comes all the way around. We might be able to steal the blinds. If not, we're in a bit of a tight spot here. So he checks up, checks to us, bet half pot, but let's see. He's pretty aggressive here. He checks to us. Check up one more time. We only have a pair of 9s. See what the bet's gonna be. He checks along. I'm gonna try and steal this pot, 96 cents. He calls. 7-8. I don't know what that guy had, but he's not very smart. We'll put it in brown. I like to give him the @ sign, which you guys will see here. Under the gun. Call there. Everybody's gonna fold regardless, whether you bet or raise. So I don't know. I guess maybe it is true that if you just small raise that whatever, and then usually you can just 3-bet after the fact, unless they don't give you that option. So check up. I think he's probably gonna be too scared to bet anything here. Checks along again. Go small bet. Throw some money into the pot. So he's not really gonna call along anywhere there, so you got to be prepared for that. Big bet, small bet, it's not gonna matter. He's not gonna show a showdown anyway. We should win this pot here. Perfect. Off to a solid start here. We are gonna play a lot of attention to our positioning, see if anything else makes sense here. A raise in the small blind. We do have some sort of advantage here. Couple of callers. A bunch of callers. I think we just get out of the way here. What do you guys do in this position? Make sure you timestamp and let me know. We're gonna go ahead and call to see a flop. Check along. Small blind's probably not the best position there. And we'll get out of the way there. Probably just don't call that. That's just probably what you don't want to do. 8 jack. Now I did learn that this is in our range some of the time. Some of the time it's not. So the 3-bet probably works there. Now we know that having this ace here, or the 8, is going to be more in our range than in his range. So he's going to maybe fold here. He calls there. He's going to check along. Second pair. I think we go with half size bet. Got rainbow. We don't really need a super high card coming out. We'll hope that he folds. And that 3 definitely shows us some help. If he checks here, we'll check behind, check along. Should be a little safer. Ace jack. Okay, nice. We're off to a good start. Who was it? Was it this guy, I think, that we just played? I like to put them in brown that I just tested the strategy on them and that it worked somewhat. And again, I'll kind of get into that at some point with you guys. Under the gun, sometimes I call this suited. Under the gun, you probably just want to get out of the way. We're gonna just practice positioning here and see if that makes sense, or if it helps us at all or not. Again, being pretty conservative with our hands here. Again, we've got another kings. Comes to us. We'll call along. In the small blind with kings. So positioning where we really want to be is button or here, right? We want to be one of these two spots most of the time. So if you can do that. Now, a check there is probably a little weak. A small bet here is probably what's going to have to happen. And if he's going to fold, he's going to fold regardless. We know that he's somewhat softer anyway. And we know that we have the best range here. And we know that he's soft. That's why it's so important to label your players as much as you can. Button 9, 8, 9, holy shit, 9, 10. Am I drunk or what? We got that same player again here. He's just going to call, get out of the way. And this, I thought maybe anything I do on my phone just doesn't work. I thought I had more people labeled, but I guess not. Brother, you awake? Pair of fours. Just gonna check along. A 30-cent bet either is gonna fold him, which I assume it will, but it's just slightly over pot, or he's gonna call. This should look like a value bet. So it looks like he's probably playing multiple tables. Definitely doesn't hit anything that we need to be worried about yet. He makes a call with the ace. We just have to check there. And a small raise. I mean, honestly, we got nothing. There's no point. We have no showdown value here. Probably just have to hop out of the way. Yeah. We're just gonna split off the scene there. Okay. We're playing positioning here. A limp in there. I'm gonna raise about 31 here. Should be, I'm hoping that this gets us one fold. There's our one, maybe two. Call. Call. I'm bet 25 there. He's gonna snap call there, so we'll see what he ends up with. I'm gonna continue to barrel here a little bit. And we're able to kind of barrel our way through it. You got to be so nervous though when you make positions like that to not be screwed. But ace jack sometimes against one, we'll raise to 20. See if anybody decides to follow. I'd assume it should be a fold there, but it's not. This definitely is more our range as of now. So 10 would look really good. Should be a call. It's not. I don't know. Dude, Santa, stop. Get out of my face, Santa, please. All right, well, we're doing well, man. We're doing well with the positioning here for sure. We're doing well. Now, I can tell you this week, though, I've come up with a strategy, and it's really been a struggle, man. It really has been just very difficult. Like, I'm winning a little and then losing big, and I just got to be so careful. I really like the starting call there. I think that maybe with pairs we can 3-bet, or bluffs we 3-bet, but this person decides to check to us. Bet 12. Calls quickly. That's a dangerous card. He checks to us. We'll check back one more. Jacks. Don't have a lot here. much, so we'll just call along. Probably the safer play. Yeah, the ace, cool. Safer play than a re-raise. King Jack. I'm gonna re-raise here from out of position a little bit. Most of the time, I think when you raise out of position, you're gonna get folds a lot. People respect that. So if you have good cards like that, raising out of position most of the time is not necessarily so strong. Raising position here, this is more acceptable. I bet we will. Again, I don't have a lot of luck with raising in, and that's just kind of my strategy, is just to kind of limp in most of the time. I think that's like the least scary thing. People don't believe you have a lot. So part of the time it's okay, part of the time it doesn't end up working out. And we've won 14 of 46 here, so we're doing solid. Eights on the button. Perfect place to, again, you just make a small call. Again, we call, everybody folds out. At least this guy folds out anyway. All he can do is check in. That's a scary board. Scary because you could have the flush. Let's see if we can bluff our way in here a little bit. Maybe we get a fold out of him. He's 300 big blinds, so that might not be enough. It is. That was supposed to kind of look like a value. Again, it's a scary board for us. More than likely, it should be a scary board for him as well. 8-10, I am interested to play this hand. I don't know if it's the smartest hand to play, and it turns out that it's not. So, about 20 cents down on a board like this, it's just probably not the best. Interesting. He gave us a 10. Position here. Go 18 cents. That should be a call. I really got to practice my after the flops and see what happens. Two's pretty good spot for us. He had nothing. Safe bet there. I do know that I have to be calling a little bit more than I was before with like smaller pairs. Just because, again, you know, something can happen and you can end up being in a better spot than you are with him being completely dead. Because people are going to play different ranges. You're just going to have to kind of figure it out. So, on the button, again. So I think playing position here on the button is going to be a good idea. I'm going to re-raise a little bit heavier here. Since this guy is aggressive, we have him in red. We know that he calls a little bit more of the time. So again, we know that he's going to call there as well. A check there. Small bet. This should look kind of scary to him. And he's going to go ahead and fold out. Jack ace on the big blind. This is definitely playable. Go ahead and give him an @ sign, just knowing that we've tried the strategy and it ended up working here. I'm gonna re-raise him again. He calls. We definitely are okay here. @ sign, because we're already trapping here a little bit. Checks to us. That helps us out here. I expect a call out of this, to be honest. I expect him to call. It doesn't scare us too much. And then we barrel here a little bit. Let's see what's half pop. Okay, so we can go like $1.10. This should be a fold. Perfect, and it worked. We had a jack. I don't know that we had the best hand in the game, but we definitely had a good one. Now, nines is one of my worst hands. It really is. It's one of my worst ones. Now, this guy has an @ sign. Okay. We'll go ahead and limp in here. Again, limping, again, when you have good cards, limping is usually a good way to kind of hide how strong you may be. Now, 95 here. I'm going to raise... I think it's just us. I have a hard time with nines, so we're gonna have to be careful here. I don't think, you know, if we get an all in, we're gonna be a bit into trouble here. The fact that he's willing to call there is scary. I'll just call again, I think. This might not be good. We don't have a super strong hand here, so I don't know. 2 pair. He could have a 2 pair as well if he has a strong hand. Most of the time I'm not comfortable because, again, even if he has a jack, we probably lose. And we're up. It's a hand I'm gonna get away from, I think. The jack is kind of scary. That's really the only reason that we folded is because he had a jack something. We're not gonna win it. Raise to 30. We'll raise to $1. I want to see what this looks like for him. Or at least 95. I would assume that it's a fold. It's not. The ace is not great. The low straight, I don't think we have to be too worried about here. We'll barrel again for 95 again. There should be a fold 100% of the time. If he doesn't fold here, I don't know. Okay. It worked. Ace queen on the small blind. We'll go ahead and call in. We don't want this guy to get away with nothing here. Yeah, I am wondering about that other guy, but the all-in bets, unless you got something real strong, even like the 9s, you probably can find the folds. Like, and I suggest that you do most of the time here. This is a big, just getting us, a little bit of money back in here. I suggest though with the 9s, whatever, unless you get trips, there was no possible straight, but there was already like a jack there that, you can win. So you can go pretty far with it. You just have to be pretty careful on how far you can play. Raise to 25. Again, 3 betting with strong hands is pretty acceptable here. I'm gonna call because, again, it's just, now this board doesn't hit for any of us, so we'll just check along here. I'll have to go back and look at some of these plays as well. I'll probably turn them into shorts and just see how those things work. But 10 jack on the button. Again, this is an easy call. We'll even re-raise here. This guy we know is at least somewhat aggressive. Put him aggressive there. Checks to us. We'll check back. Hit the 10. We can check raise, or he can re-raise. We'll raise to 64. Should be a call from him. Then we hit the 2 pair. We have the nuts in this spot. No possible flush. 7. Maybe he has an 8. This actually could be pretty bad for us, so we need to kind of bet pretty big and hope that he doesn't have it. And it worked. You got to be worried about, it's really important positioning, understanding your range, and knowing what cards you can and cannot play. If you want me to be a little bit more specific about that, I'd be willing to. But it's really knowing the cards you can and cannot play, and then also knowing when you can, when you need to, basically trying to read your opponent's cards and figuring that out as well. It's the most important play for sure. And then obviously trying to maintain money, like all in, stuff like that. If you're getting started, I think you probably just stay away from them most of the time. They don't work out for me very often, so unless you have like a high flush straight, I don't think all ins are really the play. I know with pairs, all ins they fucking suck, dude. They just don't work for me. All ins just never work for me ever, dude. And it's because I go all in with 2 pair. I went all in though with a full house and trip aces yesterday and lost both of those hands, so wasn't very good. I hope this guy bets. Thank you so much for doing that. Really appreciate you, my man. Please call that too. That would be so dope. He calls. We have 2 pair. We have the nuts here. I can't really do much with this guy yet. I'll check. He checks. I check. He bets. Okay. So I believe the $1 is a fold out of him. How much value can we get? 60 cents is maybe a little high. If he calls here, then he's not great. Unless he's got something like trip 10s. He goes 212. So we have 3. So unless he has 8-7, I don't think he does. Damn. Wow, that's That's pretty unfortunate for sure. Seems like a weird range to have. We probably just could have bet a lot bigger, a lot earlier, and won that pot. So sometimes checking along with just like a pair, again, is just, you know, when you have good plays, maybe you get a little bit of value early, and then you probably have to get out of the way, because that's unfortunate. I'm surprised he didn't go with a slightly larger bet than that, but I think he was hoping, I don't know, he was probably expecting the raise, and we gave it to him. So that's okay. Hands like that, though, hurt. They hurt so bad. I hate them. But sometimes it's the way of the game. Because we were up a little bit. And that's how poker goes. And that's why you have to risk management super hard. So now we know that you can't really do that unless you really have the nuts. But the check is probably a good idea. We'll go to $1 here. Let's see if anybody wants to make a call to $1. If he does, then we know that he's pretty weird. See if we can leave that at fine or not. He goes all in. That's a huge all in for us as well. Ooh. 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 Trip queens, we've lost an all into to a flush. I mean, just ace king. It's just like literally my luck though, man. I don't know. I don't know how to. I really felt like I played pretty well there. What a way to lose. All right, well, I guess that's it. We had trip queens and lost a flush, so an ace king flush. That's honestly my luck. You should do that every time though, and you know, 9 times out of 10 you win. But lately I've been getting those like one out of 10s a lot more often. But honestly, man, that's so jokes, dude. That's so jokes. All right. Well, that's going to do it.